not because he leaves the toilet seat up, not because he leaves his clothes on the floor next to the hamper instead of inside it, not because she hides all those Amazon packages that she knows she wasn't supposed to buy, and most definitely not because she always steals your food, especially when she distinctly said she was not hungry. One of the real reasons that marriages fail is because... Welcome to the Own Your Ship podcast, a program designed to share practical ways you can own your mess in your relationship today. I'm your host, Mel Walker. Let's dive in. Hi guys, thanks for tuning into another episode of the Own Your Ship podcast. If this is your first time tuning into one of my shows, I am Mel Walker, and I teach individuals just like you how to have healthy relationships by being better versions of yourselves. Why? Because you attract what you are and what you fear. If you watch a few of my episodes already, but you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Please go ahead, hit that subscription button, and officially become a part of the family. Now let's jump into today's episode. Marriage is a concept that's been around since the beginning of time. And people have their reasons for wanting to get married. But there are also people who don't, and they have justifiable reasons for not wanting to get married. Some say they can't afford it. They look at where we are in the world now and how expensive everything is. And the thought is, I can't even take care of myself. How am I going to take care of somebody else? Completely understandable. Some people feel like marriage changes things. They believe as soon as you walk down the aisle, things just switch. I'm not bashing marriage, but I really do hold a deep respect for people who are intentional about not wanting to get married. They know what they want and they're very honest about it, versus the people who get into marriage for the wrong or not so clear reasons. There's some people who feel like marriage is what they're supposed to do. I'll give you an example. The church. When I was growing up, the only thing we really had to aspire to besides the rapture was getting married. And as young women, our primary emphasis was to be seen by the men in our church. So every Sunday during offering time, everyone was excited to go walk to the front of the church and drop their collection in the collection plate so they could show off their nice outfit, their nice hat, their nice shoes, all in an attempt to catch the eye of the person who's supposed to be their husband. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to willingly admit that, but it's the truth. It's what happened. It's what we lived. It's what I lived. But on the other hand, when the church says that you can't get married, well, they can't really tell you can't get married. What it was is they gave their opinion about whether or not they thought you were ready, and it was up to you to decide if you were going to take their advice or not. So that's what I meant. But usually when people decide to go ahead and get married after the church has given their opinion about whether or not they think they're ready, those marriages usually end up in infidelity, sex issues or lack thereof, boredom, and all of this tends to happen within the first couple of years of marriage, if not sooner. Others do it because they're forced to stay in their partner's life. Another example of this is in the church. Once you start showing interest in someone, the expectation is that this relationship is going to lead to the aisle. And instead of wasting time being tempted with fleshly things, go and make it official so that you don't sin. As I stated earlier, there are some who believe that marriage changes things. There are some who believe that marriage is just a piece of paper. And then there are some who don't want the man in their relationship. I don't really think it works that way, but okay. Others go into marriage because they want to gain control of their partner. An example of that could be physical and emotional abuse. And I'll use even a deeper example. Back in the day, if a husband and wife got into a tit, and let's say the husband hit the wife, let's say she called the cops. Once they show up and they realize what happened, they would say, oh, this is just a husband and wife situation. You guys handle that behind closed doors. No charges are going to be pressed. Nothing is going to happen, because in their head, they believe that a husband is in control of his household, and whatever happens behind closed doors, that's their business, even if her face is blooded. Another instance of abuse is that a husband can't rape his wife. So if a wife were to go and report that her husband raped her, nothing would come of it, because according to the time, it was impossible for a husband to rape his wife. Now, I'm going to move on from there because that's just upsetting. Another reason why people get married is because of what they want to get from their partner. And I'm not gonna lie, it goes both ways. But a lot of women are notoriously known for marrying men for their money and for their prized possessions and not wanting to sign a prenup because of what they can gain in the event that this person passes away. Don't hate the messenger. So we've talked about the people who got married for the wrong reasons, but now I want to talk about the people who go in for the right reason, but the marriage fails anyways. Not because he leaves the toilet seat up, not because he leaves his clothes on the floor next to the hamper instead of inside it, not because she hides all those Amazon packages that she knows she wasn't supposed to buy, and most definitely not because she always steals your food, especially when she distinctly said she was not hungry. One of the real reasons that marriages fail is because of selfishness. The misconception is that because you can get I and you can get me out of the word marriage, then it's just all about you. That's the furthest from the truth. If you walk into a marriage with the intention to have it be the you show, then your marriage is on a path to destruction. Don't do it. Don't be selfish. Another reason why marriages fail is because of the lack of or improper communication. Everybody thinks they know how to communicate. And everybody thinks that just by having a conversation means you're communicating. That's not all of it. Contrary to popular belief, ladies, men aren't mind readers. Can you believe it? They're not mind readers. They can't tell you what's going on in your head. So if you don't let it out, how are they gonna know what's going on? When you walk into the marriage with the mindset that he's supposed to know what I want, you're leaving room for unrealistic expectations and pure miscommunication. And fellas, when you walk into the relationship with the mindset that she's supposed to do what my mama did, let me just put this out here. If you met a woman who had her business, had a good job, got her education, all that stuff, how can you expect her to walk away from all of that because you want her to be barefoot and pregnant and cleaning the house and washing your drawers? Now, mind you, if this is what you both agreed to and this is what you want, cool. But don't walk in with the expectation that this is what she's gonna do, because that's just not gonna fly. Another reason why new marriages fail, and we've heard this one a lot, is because of finances, or better yet, the irresponsibility of finances. See, I don't really think that finances is like the number one reason marriages fail. I think it's always money and something else. And I'll give you an example. If you're using your money to take care of the side relationship that you have, then clearly that's a problem. If you're using your money to feed your gambling habit or your clothes habit or keeping up with the Joneses habit, then clearly that's a problem. If you continue those bad behaviors, then yes, your marriage is en route to divorce. If you guys would like a video with some financial tips for newlyweds, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to get that to you guys as soon as possible. Now, if there's no clear understanding about how you both will use your money in your relationship, then that's kind of the beginning of the end. Another reason why marriages end is because you guys don't spend time nurturing the relationship. A lot of us have what I call the Disney complex. And when I say a lot of us, I'm really talking about us women. I've talked about this in another video, but the truth is Disney did really mess us up. We have the mindset that in order for us to find our Prince Charming or the love of our life, we have to go through hell and high water to get it. We have the idea that he's gonna come and sweep us off our feet and give us a deep kiss and we're gonna live happily ever after. No, that's not reality. Living happily ever after is cool. I love that. I love the idea of spending the rest of my life with that special someone. But a lot of us have to understand that marriage is just the beginning. Dating and the whole engagement, that was preliminary stuff. That's stuff that you had to go through to get to the starting line. Another reason why marriages fail in the beginning is because of competition. When couples strive to be better than each other, that's where the problem usually begins. I'll give you an example. If you have an issue with how they clean the bathroom, not because they can't clean it, but because you're trying to prove to them that your way is better, then that's an issue. If you have an issue with how they load the dishwasher because your way is better and you can do it better, then that's an issue. If you have an issue with how they fold laundry, not because they can't fold it well, but more so because it's not done the way you want it, then that's an issue. Continuing with these little micro competitions is gonna cause your partner to throw in the towel and just give up. Another reason why marriages fail in the beginning, and this one, it bothers me because I hear it so much and it makes absolutely no sense to me. Another reason is that your marriage is 50-50. I don't know who came up with this mess because it makes no sense. My perception is that 50% of me and 50% of him equals one person. That means someone's gonna get left out. I'll give you an example. If we both show up 100%, and let's say I say something like, you know, every time I watch this show, it triggers me. It brings me back to a bad place in my childhood. He's gonna wanna do anything possible to make sure that I'm not triggered. He may watch the show in another room. He may delay watching the show until I fall asleep. But if both of you are gonna show up 50-50, he's probably gonna say, that's your problem. If you don't like it, you can get up and leave. That's not somebody who cares about you. That's not somebody who cares about how trauma impacts you. Another reason that marriages fail so quickly is because y'all are keeping score. You guys lack forgiveness, and that's a huge problem in relationships. When you're not willing to really forgive, it causes you to keep score. It causes you to keep track of every wrong that this person has ever done to you. If every time there's an argument, you bring up what they did previously, then that's just showing that you have not really healed from those past issues. That is something that you really need to work out in therapy. Holding on to stuff in your relationship, especially stuff that your partner already believes they rectified with you, is just gonna cause a whole lot of resentment. So if you're not gonna really be upfront about fixing the problem, at least be upfront about how you're really feeling. That way you and your partner can determine how to move forward. Now, all of this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are numerous other reasons why marriages fail, but one thing I want you to know, it's not too late for you to rectify your problems. You guys already know I love to keep it short and sweet, so thanks for tuning into today's episode on why new marriages fail. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like it, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the bell so that you don't miss any more episodes just like this one. See you guys next week.